Hi, Jess.
A nice fade.
Oh, you love to see it.
You love to see it. Who said that first? Who was the first person who said that?
I don't know.
Because I hear that a lot. You love to see it. It's like the new, like, shame on them.
I think that's you hate to see it.
Oh, you hate to see it. No, yeah, you love to see it. It's like sarcasm.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that.
Yeah, you love to see it.
I love to see it. Yeah. I know what you mean. How you doing, man?
Pretty good, dude. Long day. Long day working in the basement and stuff.
That's right. You're going all home improvement up in there.
Dude, what was that guy's name? Tim Allen?
Tim Allen, yeah.
Did the Santa Claus. But that whole, like...
I forgot he was in that movie.
Dude, like, he needs a... like, what? What? I think the craziest part of that show was his son being into, like... what was his shirt that he was wearing? It was, like...
I don't know.
Circle of... I don't know. But he was, like, wearing, like, a dog collar with, like, spikes on it. His like son was going through like a emo, like a goth phase,
like an e-boy phase.
Yeah, yeah, and it was awesome. I was like, "Whoa, dude, what are those?"
Go off.
Because this is, I remember specifically. Okay, because we grew up in two different kinds of houses, dude. So I grew up in like a. It started as my parents were like kind of like fundamentalist Christians a little bit. Mm-hmm. God bless them. They're not like that anymore, but careful, watch out for Betty there. But no, I remember going to Dairy Queen and there were like a bunch of goth kids there, and they were like acting weird around them. I was just like, what's wrong with them? They're just wearing black,
yeah, and
they just have like piercings in their face. I think that was the start of like
they don't look particularly chipper.
I was curious. I was like, why are you acting weird around these people? They're just people.
And it becomes taboo. Then you're like,
yeah,
what are they about?
That was definitely like the late 90s.
Yeah.
It's like post Columbine.
Oh.
Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, were we talking about that?
People.
Yeah, it's the same thing as the kid in the back of the bus that showed you Slipknot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We talked about that.
They're the same people, and they blessed us.
Yeah.
So thank those
Wouldn't
people.
be the same. Oh my gosh. Didn't you tell me? You told me something earlier about a Fresh Prince.
Yeah. I think they're doing a Fresh Prince reboot.
Why?
Just because. I don't know, man. Because everybody was just like, yeah, I wonder what like the fake Will Smith is up to nowadays, you know? And like the butler.
Oh, yeah.
I saw him in a movie recently, though, where he was like a grown man.
Really?
I mean, he was always a grown man. But,
like, I'll be honest, I didn't think about what he said until you recapped on it.
Jeffrey. Yeah, G. Jeffrey was awesome.
That's right. Oh man, I like almost forgot all about that character.
He's like one of the greatest characters.
Yeah,
they're all great.
Yeah,
except when they do the old switcheroo of like the mom.
Oh, I forgot about that like part they did. Damn.
Yeah, that was rude.
I didn't forget about him.
Vivian. I miss Uncle Phil.
Oh, yeah.
See, the thing is about a reboot is it won't be the same because Uncle Phil won't be there. No, and Uncle Phil was like America's father.
It's gonna be a huge hole in the show. Yeah, it's but like I just hope they don't like. I hope they don't like ruin the legacy that was like Fresh Prince. You know.
Yeah.
And it's like
seems to happen.
Like I don't know why like they brought back Full House before, and like
Fuller House.
Like I didn't get it, but like I feel like I wasn't meant to get it at the same time. But unnecessary in my opinion, but kind of a cash grab.
Yeah, maybe Fuller House definitely was. I mean, Full House was like a commercial for the Beach Boys, if you think about it.
Do you think so?
Not completely, but like at some point, like you have to stop with the Hawaii episodes, and like Mike Love has to stop randomly showing up in the episodes for it to not be a Beach Boys show. Because like Jesse was like obsessed with the Beach Boys. All right, I know a little bit too much about Full House. I don't know if you're prepared to get into this kind of thing.
I am, but I'm not.
I want to say, if anybody's out there and they love Full House, the most meaningful and the saddest episode was probably when Michelle lost her memory because she fell off a horse. It was a 2-part episode too. It was like to be continued, and you were like, because she forgot who her family was.
I don't remember that one.
Dude,
I didn't watch enough of that.
That will pull your heartstrings. But I have like the box set, the DVD box set that like
Really?
looks like the house.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's awesome.
Damn, dude, you are a super fan.
I loved Full House. Fuller House can suck one.
Megan loves fucking John Stamos, dude. I mean, I think every girl loves
Who
John
doesn't?
Stamos. Yeah,
He's a stud.
You're right.
That makes me think about there was just like, I guess it's Funny or Die, like basically like the internet comedy sketches, but like did you ever see it? It was like Stamos stutching. And he like teaches you how to like touch people. And it's like super weird.
What the fuck? No, I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's like a tutorial on how to like lovingly, affectionately touch people. Which is super weird, but he does it with not Danny Tanner. Bob Saget. Yeah.
Bob Saget.
Yeah, that's his name.
Can't say Bob Saget without thinking about Tourette's guy.
Yes.
What a golden era of the internet.
Yeah.
Simpler times.
That's the guy with the neck brace on, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that was golden YouTube. That was probably more E-Bombs World, wasn't it?
Yeah, around that period, like it's foggy, but man, I remember like the debate of when Tourette's guy was like a big thing, whether it was real or not. And it obviously was not real. But
why would they be filming?
Right, like it wouldn't be funny if it was real, right? But like,
yeah,
maybe it would be. I don't know.
Dude, Tourette's guy should come back. He'd make a killing on TikTok.
You're not wrong, because like he would kill it.
He would, seriously. People would be like, "Oh,
it's
yeah."
It's like the new Vine, anyway. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we were talking about that at practice last night.
We were, yeah.
It's like definitely like it filled the Vine hole.
Yep.
Vine was great though. Vine was good though because it was like 15 seconds or less though, right?
I think. I thought they changed that. But
are you yawning right now?
Dude, I don't know why. This beer is making me tired, man. But like, this is good beer, by the way. I just picked this up with.
Am I not entertaining enough for you?
Dude, can you just be more fucking energetic, dude? I'm gonna put me to sleep. I'm just kidding. But I bought this beer earlier. That was the first time I ever had it. The Yingling Flight. It's the next generation of light beer. Sponsor us, please. Yeah, it's pretty good. It like reminds me a little bit of like what Bud Light Platinum tastes like, but not Bud Light.
Any good at Bud Light?
But it's good. It doesn't have that weird taste like Bud Light does, and it doesn't taste like Bud Light. I don't know why I'm comparing it to that.
I feel like Yingling is trying a whole bunch of new things lately.
They are. Yeah. Did you try the Hershey's?
No,
one?
And I won't ever.
I'll be honest. It wasn't good.
No.
Very disappointing.
That's disgusting.
I mean, I've had like chocolate porters that I've liked, but
I'm not interested in drinking.
You look disgusted by
dude. That is gross.
Of, like, a chocolate beer.
Like the whole idea of like peanut butter stout. Like I'm not a stout guy.
No, that's fair. I'm not a porter and stout guy either. It takes a lot for me to like them. I'm more of like a lager and IPA guy.
Yeah.
But like I know exactly what you mean, but your reaction to like a fucking chocolate
it's just
beer.
like, dude, it's like a cup of syrup.
It doesn't even it doesn't even taste that much like chocolate, to be honest. It just smells like it.
Yeah, it's like a Yingling Hershey's collab.
Yeah,
It's just like the most Pennsylvania drink you can get.
Ye fucking haw.
Haw ye. What did I see the other day? It was like cowboys always say yeehaw, but ninjas always say he y'all. And I always want to get it confused with the cat that says like, yeah, you always want to say yeehaw, but you never want to say haw ye.
Shut the fuck up. Oh my god.
I love those. Yeehaw is just it's just gonna go down in history as one of the best things people have ever said.
You just gonna walk by without saying howdy?
Howdy do.
So,
Hit me with
I want
them.
to interject, and I want to talk about some of the questions that were asked on Patreon.
Okay, you're getting right down into the business.
Yeah, thank you for asking questions, by the way. We're going to answer a couple of them on this episode, and next episode we'll probably answer like 3 more of them or so. So, and like, because Tyler needs to be a part of it for some of the questions to be answered.
We want to include him because
he'll cry.
Who's gonna?
If he'll cry. Tyler, you're a bitch. So
wow, he's gonna listen to this.
He doesn't listen. I'm just kidding. No, he does. It's he'll be like, I'm not part of that. I'm not watching that episode.
Make sure they don't talk bad about me.
All he does is scream and play guitar. So first question. Pretty clear you guys have been playing together for a long time. Were there any bands before PB, and what were they like? So I'll let you lead.
That is a great question. Yeah. Well, during the start of Promise Breaker, I had been in a band since like 2013 up until 2018. Yeah, 5 years, 5 solid years. It was called Young and Heartless, and I played drums for that band. It was like a indie, like emo kind of band, like Balance and Composure, or like
brand newish.
Brand new. Man, I always hated hearing that though.
The brand new comparisons.
Yeah, it's like, dude, come on.
It was a form of endearment, not.
I know that, but it's just like, come on. I mean, I really like brand new, but at the same time, it's just like, I guess when you're like so much like something, you just wish that
you
nobody
resent
would
it
call you out on it.
You resent it a little bit, yeah. No, I know you.
You're like, oh man, dang, I wish they wouldn't have picked up on that.
I was trying to keep it a secret.
Yeah, but no, I really enjoyed playing with that band. I don't know, dude. I was thinking about the other day how, like, when we started with Promise Breaker,
yeah,
and like Tyler and I started jamming, and then Justin came and started jamming. I would take my kit from my parents' house to the warehouse, or like I would practice because we would practice Thursday nights, like we still do. We would practice Thursday nights. I would practice with the Young and Heartless from like 6 to like 9 or 10. Pack up my kit and then go practice at the warehouse from like 10 to like 2 in the morning, and then I'd have to take my drums back to my parents until the point where we could store our gear at the warehouse.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, dude, and then I did that for like the entire life of till the end of 2018. So that was like 2 years I did that. I would never do that now. Taking my kit from place to place, dude. Oh my god,
you're spoiled and having it all there now.
I was just like, just like a central place to just play drums.
Yeah.
But
shout out to Tyler's dad.
Yeah, seriously, dude. Like, thank God for the warehouse.
Yeah.
But no, so that band, we did like a bunch of tours and like, yeah, I don't know. I have a lot of memories with that band. I was thinking about like,
I mean, you got a lot of like touring experience with that band.
Yeah, well, that band,
not
like,
just that, but, like,
we went across the country like twice. Like we did like 2 full U.S. tours. One was with Free Throw, which that band is amazing, dude. They're still a band, and like they are a testament to like the fact that like a group of, I think there's 5 of them because there's 3 guitar players. Because the singer is one. But like they're a testament to the fact that like people can play together for that long and still be great. Yeah. And like still have like, I mean, I'm sure they have their like spats and stuff like that, but like to be able to be to like stay together, I don't know, dude, like being in a group is hard, but they do it. Like, they do it really well.
Naturally, I mean, like not only do people naturally clash as a group, just with differing opinions, and like musicians are opinionated as it is, you know.
Yeah.
I mean? So it's like, but, you know, to be together for that long, but also like over the years, like everyone changes, you know, especially when you're young. So like your opinions change, you know, your preferences change, like your styles change. Like to be able to stay together for a long period of time as a band and like kind of like overcome it and like just use everyone's strengths.
Yeah,
Like that's cool to see.
they are a really good example of that, and they still do that. And like I love following them and like watching them still do their thing.
Yeah.
But like so yeah, we got to do that, and then I think one of the most like notable things that I did with like Young and Heartless was like touring with Seosin for like their reunion tour.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Which is like
That was.
I remember getting that offer and being like, "What? That's not real. You're lying."
Crazy. I remember when you told me about that.
Yeah.
I was just like blown away.
It was like the Anthony Green Seosin, like
touring with Seosin.
Yeah,
like, what the?
That was unreal. But yeah, so that was like a weird one, and I think the weirdest thing about that was so Tyler had come along on that one because he was like our merch guy at the time.
I remember.
And he's a great merch guy, by the way.
Yeah.
But so like the guitarist, they had what's his name? The guitarist from As I Lay Dying.
Phil?
Yes, Phil.
Yeah.
One of the guitarists from As I Lay Dying filling in on guitar.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is just like, I mean, I had a couple of passing hays and like, how you doing, bro? Or like,
you were inner fangirling, though. 100%.
Well, yeah, but the thing was like Tyler refused to say anything to him because he was like,
serious?
dude, like I worship that guy, like I can't say anything to him, bro. And so that was just like one of the best times ever. Because
like if I was there, I would have given him such a hard time. Like, bro, you're making it weird by not saying anything.
Yeah,
like just say hi, bro.
And this was through like post like Tim going to jail and stuff.
Oh,
so like
right.
we always wanted to say so, like Brian especially wanted to like say something and be like, so like what's going on with your buddy, bro? Like,
of course Brian, I can see him like walking up to him and like,
yeah, but yeah,
everyone else is like, Brian, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, just like a super touchy subject, I guess. But but that was a really good time. And that band was just super interesting because that taught me a lot about writing with other people and like being cohesive and even though like I don't know, like the other bands too, like the band before that with like Vision My Valor, which we were in together.
Yeah.
But like that was also like just teaching me and you how to like deal with other people, like for better or worse. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like sometimes I was the bad guy, and like then sometimes other people were the bad guy, and you just like learn like,
and like people,
this is
like,
what not to do.
I think like people, something that gets overlooked a lot of times, like in bands, and like to people who like kind of like aren't in bands, or don't like make music with other people, is like how there's like two halves of it almost. It's like the creative compromise, and it's like the personal compromise and like the getting along. You know what I mean? Because like in order to be like a fully cohesive band, like you have to kind of click on both levels, right? Like you kind of like like it's one thing like if me and you were like we're on the same wavelength, you know, musically, and like can we bury the hatchet about personal differences? Yeah, probably.
Right.
But like if we're friends and we both have like an understanding about things, like it will enhance the first part.
It makes it so much easier, dude. Yeah. Yes.
And
totally.
Like, having to back to your point, not to stray from the path a little bit. Just fucking having to even people that we were friends with, and like having to like kind of being in a band with your friends sometimes fucking is hard because sometimes you can see how stubborn you are or some stubborn other people are.
Yeah, man.
And you have to be able to be like, dude, fuck you. Like, you're pissing me off. Like with like how you're acting. You know what I mean? Whatever you're doing, you know, whether it's musically related or not. You know what I mean? Like, so like, you know, because like I said, every musician's passionate and stubborn and opinionated. So it's like it can be a test. Like, and like, you know, sometimes. You can lose friendships over that stuff. Like sometimes.
You definitely can. Like, there's definitely a balance of all right, so like I'm in this band with this person to make music with this person, but like if you don't have that like connection of like, oh, we're friends, like we can go like get dinner together or something like that, or just like chill, you know, and do this like that's something that's important. But like sometimes like you can have that and then you try to force the like I'm trying to be in a band with this person too, and that can be bad too. So it's just you have to have like a perfect like two halves to the whole like make that kind of thing work. And it's not like it's all like it has to be that way all the time. Like it can go around and just kind of just be like
it's an always thing you have to constantly kind of work on. Like it's not something that just like falls in place and you're like, oh, we're good. You know what I mean? Like it's something that you have to like consciously make an effort to like compromise and like, you know, like cuz like for example, like I mean like us being in a band together, like all of us are friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously like Nick is kind of like the latest to the friend group. Obviously like, you know, like me, you and Tyler have known each other longer. Like us being in a band together, like if we just solely focused on like kind of the meat and potatoes of the band and didn't really hang out outside of it, or like, you know, do things like this, or, you know, what else, like you know, our friendship may like, you know, decline a little bit, or like it may seem that way, you know what I mean? So like being able to kind of like tend to like both sides of that like is like important.
I think we do that like sometimes, like, if we have practice and stuff like that, too, like, we'll just, like, there'll be, like, an hour or two where we're just sitting there chilling and talking.
Yeah.
But, like, sometimes, like, I don't know, I think, like, me a few years ago would have been like, dude, like, what are we doing? We gotta, like, play some music, you know, like, we're wasting time.
Yeah.
But, like, at the same time, it's, like, that's all part of it.
Yeah.
Just being able to just talk about stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I think now, like, with us being kind of like, I mean, adults now, and like, you know, before not just being high school kids, like now we all have like, you know, lives. We have to kind of like when we leave practice, we kind of like, you know, we're obviously in contact, but like we kind of go back to like working, like dealing with responsibilities at home, loved ones, you know, and stuff. So it's like we all know that like, you know, when we were younger, when we looked at like the other person or other friend, it's like, well, what else do you have to do other than this? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you're
going to go to school and then do this. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now we know, like, this isn't just, like, practice. This is kind of, like, this is our time. You know what I mean? Like, and, like, so, like, when we, like, take a break from practice and, like, chill, it's, like, we want to, like, enjoy each other's company. Because, like, you know, we don't get to, like, we can't just be like, oh, well, like, you know, we have a schedule we have to stick to a little bit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then going back to, like, the thing, like, Young and Heartless, that was where, like, I learned a lot of that. Like, a lot of, like, ooh, like, wow, I don't play well with others. Like, just certain types of people, you know, or, like, whatever. And then, like, the band before that, like, we were in together. We learned that, too. We were like, dude, like, I don't know. Like, these guys are just not
me and you
the people that we want to work with, you know?
Me and you had the same kind of, like, last straw moment.
Yeah.
We both looked at each other and we're like, we're done.
So that band was like Vision My Valor. That was like post-hardcore type band with like singer and like screamer too.
Yep.
What was that, like Color Morale type thing?
Color Morale, like almost like maybe like a little Memphis May Fire-esque. Like I don't really know what else to call it.
I would say like some part of the aspect of like the rise. I'm trying to think of like a band that had like the whole singer screamer motif. Like We Came as Romans type thing.
Yeah, almost.
But the playing wasn't like
it wasn't
that.
like that.
Yeah.
It was a little more like, I don't know, Color Morales, like instrumentally, like we were like trying for that, I guess, a little bit. But
it was like the back and forth of like screaming and singing and screaming and singing.
Yeah.
And they were both really good at what they did. And then before that, Tyler and I were in a band together. Well, I made music on my own for a little bit because, like, before that, like, before Vision My Valor, like, I made music on my own, just kind of, like, experimenting with, like, recording or, like, doing whatever.
Yep.
Because prior to that time, Tyler and I had been in, like, a high school, like, metalcore band together with, like, that was with, like, Joey and, like, Jared and stuff like that. And, They'll Never Take Us Alive.
Yep.
Just, like, that was, like, MySpace. Like, wanting to be the Rise Records bands that we were listening to, and just kind of going off of our idols and like trying to be like, oh, this is how they make that, or like this is how they do that, and like learning like As I Lay Dying riffs and trying to be like the Devil Wears Prada or something like that, you know?
You like attached to one thing and you're like, holy shit, I want to do that.
Yeah. Yes.
Exactly. So that's as far back as you're going, right?
I think so. Well, before that, I mean, it was like Tyler and I played a lot together, and we played with Phil. Right. Remember Phil?
Yeah.
We played a lot with him, and that was like I played drums there, but like the other bands that played like guitar and bass, and then Young and Heartless that played drums. But like the first thing that I did, that was like we wanted to be like Green Day type punk kind of band, Lethargic or something like that, and that was like 7th, 8th grade.
Oh, okay.
And that was fun. That was just like jamming in Phil's basement. Like it never really amounted to anything other than like.
But it was like your one of your first like you learning to play with other people.
Yeah,
and
like I still have recordings of that stuff. It was
cool.
Awful. It was bad,
That's
but
awesome.
it's fun to listen to.
So before Promise Breaker, like I joined Promise Breaker in 2018, I think. Yeah, end of 2018, I joined Promise Breaker. On bass, and before that, I was in a band called Move Like Addis with Tyler, and Sean, who used to be
formerly known as Addis,
or
formerly known as Move Like Addis, but it's called
now
Addis.
known as Addis. Yeah. So like a metalcore band, deathcore band, became more deathcore. Played guitar in that band instead of bass, and like I said, Sean was in that band, who played bass in Promise Breaker before me. So it was like a big old party. And but I joined that band in like the end of 2012, after I left Vision My Valor, which I also play guitar in. And Sean also played in that band before you joined and played bass.
Yeah, we all did a little switcheroo there.
It's like musical fucking chairs.
Yeah, literally.
And before I joined Move Like Addis, Justin played guitar in Move Like Addis, so it was just, and he joined my old band. What the fuck? Anyway,
yeah, that's crazy. That even goes deeper than I thought it did. The old switcheroos.
It's ridiculous because I had never played in a band with Justin until I joined Promise Breaker, but it was crazy. We like avoided each other.
Just slightly missed each other every single time.
Like I left my band, he left his band at the same time. We were like switch.
Yeah,
we like tag out, tag in. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So obviously, like you said, Vision My Valor was like a post-hardcore band. Learned a lot about playing with people in that band, and
that was probably like the ultimate test.
Yeah, and before that, I played in like a little like metalcore band. Like it was just kind of like me learning to play metalcore and like metal music, which is like in what I despise. And like that was kind of like we were all terrible high school band, like all that shit, But I think the band that kind of like made me grow the most, like a big leap, was like definitely like from Vision My Valor to Move Like Addis, because like I had to like try a lot harder in Move Like Addis, because like in Vision My Valor, like me and like the other guitar player, we were like the main writers, right? So like, but like we had kind of like wrote our own parts though, like, and like for the most part. So like whatever I was playing, I wrote, for the most part.
Yeah.
So it wasn't hard to play per se, like, and I knew exactly what I was getting into. But when I joined Move Like Addis, I kind of they had a back catalog of like older stuff on 6-string that I needed to learn. So like like a learning curve that I needed to like kind of adjust my playing, like learn how to play those songs. And then also like we switched to 7 strings, which is like something that Tyler wanted to do when I joined.
Yeah.
So we did that, and like that was like a huge learning curve for me, and I really had to like sit down and like kind of like practice a lot and like become a better guitar player, because like and his guitar playing style is like a lot different than mine. Like we kind of have opposite strengths, him and I. So like
that stuff was definitely like very intricate. And very
100%. Yeah.
And it wasn't this like you weren't playing like the same thing over and over.
It wasn't just like bar chords and leads like Vision My
Exactly.
Valor was, per se. Like it was like a lot more intricate. So like, and like when he would write riffs, Tyler writes a lot of stuff. So like, and I wrote stuff, and we both wrote stuff in that band, but like he wrote stuff like a lot faster than I did,
Yeah.
And,
well, he from what I remember, he was more like the riffs and stuff like that. But you were very good at like doing the leads over those kinds of things.
Yeah, like some of it, for sure.
Your little special sauce on the top.
Yeah, and like it was like I just his riffs in general, and like just playing in that tuning and that like on a 7-string, it challenged me a lot. So like I grew a lot there as like a player, and like also like kind of like we challenged each other in that band a lot with like what's gonna work, like because at that point we had been in like a couple bands, so we're trying to what makes a good song. We're at that point, you know what I mean? Rather than just playing it because we like it, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was a lot. And it also, like, that band made me kind of think about what I wanted in a band because, just for, like, you know, personal reasons, I eventually stepped down from that band, but, I got worn out of, like, playing heavy music. And, like, you know, it definitely came back to me that I wanted to play heavy music, obviously, or I wouldn't be doing it now. But, like, it just, like, it made me realize, like, what kind of music I wanted to play and what kind of music I would get tired of playing. You know what I'm saying?
I see. Yeah. If you're able to, like, separate the two or, like, figure out what was going on that would make you happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So, so it was a time.
Yeah, dude. That's awesome, man. No, like, I can definitely see, like, you and Tyler definitely play off each other really well in terms of, like, your playing because he's very, like,
Tyler's very, like, riffy.
He's very, like, outside of the box riffs, but then you kind of close it back in and you're like, this would make more sense.
Right.
You know?
I have, like, my brain thinks more, like, rhythmically.
Yeah.
Like, I think more simply, like, in terms of, like, I don't know. I just think of, like, where are the breaks? Where's the rhythm at? Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
you bring a little bit of order to his chaos.
Yeah, a little bit. But,
that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, like, we fed off each other a lot, definitely, and we still do, like, you know, now. But, hell yeah. Something I also wanted to talk about a little bit was, like, obviously we're writing and working on the 4th album right now.
Yeah.
And, thank you.
Yep.
We're working on the 4th album right now, and, we're, like, almost done with it. You know, pretty much the only thing needs finalized and finished are the vocal recording and the artwork. You know, artwork's almost done. You know, we still have to do the bulk of it, but you know what I mean?
Like the booklet and the back and all that stuff, and
just finalize everything. But like, I know if you wanted to talk about like the artwork a little bit in terms of like, what you're going for, like how it compares to like the older albums and whatnot.
Yeah, we're going like this one. I think we're going back to like the self-titled artwork style. Like Life magazines. And the thing that I like about doing that kind of stuff is incorporating like real shadows to those things.
Yeah.
Which is why
from the 3D like dimensions.
Yeah. Like it's 2D because of like the pictures, but like adding that like kind of real life drop shadow to it, I think is what it makes it cool. Like, you know what I mean? It makes it like
it makes you take a second look at it a little bit.
Yeah, you're like, what?
Yeah.
That looks like they took a picture of that and didn't just like generate that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I enjoy out of that. Because then sometimes too, you get some like weird nuances that wouldn't have otherwise happened if it was like just like a scanned picture and then you added all that stuff to it. You know, like if you take a picture and then the shadow is like slightly this way a little more, then that means like that it's slightly that way for other things, or like the different like things that are on it. Like there could be like mess ups or whatever, but like that adds to the character of like that particular picture.
Right.
So that's what I like about that one. But
if you don't mind, real quick, like something that I think is like a cool differentiation between Telebalance artwork and the artwork for this album is like kind of. When we did the Telebalance artwork, it was like a scene particularly for like the front/back of the album.
Yeah.
But then like when we did the panels on the inside, we had all these separate scenes, all these separate things. Like we slaved on them like different, like, you know, in different.
Well, I think
scenes.
that time because we wanted to have, I think it was like a 10-panel booklet, and we were like, okay, everybody gets 2 panels.
Yeah, we
make
all
whatever
made,
you
like,
want.
2 panels basically. But. Oh God, I can't stop fucking
Sleepy
yawning,
boy.
Dude. Anyway, I need an energy drink. On this new album, like I noticed that what you did was the entire thing is like where we're gonna get the panels from, and like a small portion of the entire artwork is gonna be like the main cover.
Yes.
And I think that's really cool. I think it's cool for like consistency and like that we're going to be able to kind of like show off like, hey, this is like everything you're seeing in the booklet, the front cover, everything. Like this is everything.
But it's like the whole. It's like a 3-foot by 3-foot piece of plywood.
Yeah.
And everything is just glued onto there. But yeah, like I think some of the inspiration that I took to make something like that is like I liked the first album, and I like that artwork, which was like never intended to be Promise Breaker artwork. It was just something I had made, and then we were like, oh yeah, let's like use that.
Oh, word.
Because like that was before Promise Breaker even happened.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but this is like I'm a huge fan of the Chariot, and their like One Wing album.
Yeah.
And that one is like the album artwork, like what you see is like just a very small portion of this like enormous, crazy painting.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's like, dude, it's like the weirdest thing to look at, but it's like so cool because you can tell that they put a lot of time into it and like put all those like little tiny things into it to make all the details. So I wanted to spend a lot of time on something like that and then try to just be able to have something that you can like look at as like a whole, and then when you start to like look at the individual details, you're like, oh, like I never noticed that, you know?
Yeah, and it's cool that you brought that album up because that Chariot album was the first time I actually saw an album art that was a small piece of a continuous huge piece of art. And I saw that and I was like, what the fuck? Like, it made me think of like, how many other bands did I not know that their artwork I was seeing wasn't just created as such? Like,
yes,
it's a small crop portion of a bigger piece of artwork. And like, I looked more into it, and there was like a lot more that I didn't know about.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was cool. Like, it was like it made me think about like, I don't know, like I wonder how many like artists have like commissioned paint, like people who do paintings and stuff like that to like paint a piece. And then, like, they end up really only using, like, half of it. Or like,
because the artist is like, oh, I really like that part, you know?
Yeah. So it's, like, it's cool to think about that, how, like, you kind of can pick and choose what part of that medium you want to portray in, like, the main artwork.
Well, that's cool. Because, like, what I love about that is that, like, yeah, you have that tiny little piece, but then, like, you can go and you can, like, look at the bigger picture and be like, oh yeah. I understand. Like, especially that One Wing one, because, like, the Chariot is such a chaotic band, and that piece is like the most chaotic thing there ever was. Yeah. Like, it's just like, I don't know, monsters and like weird squiggly lines, and it's just a different art style than like I particularly like. Like, I don't know, I just really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed like being able to just like look at the entire picture and be able to appreciate that guy put in a lot of time to make a lot of details.
Absolutely. It was crazy how much time that must have took.
Yeah.
Before we wrap it up, let's answer this other question.
Yeah.
What are some of the best shows or concerts you fellas have been to? I'll let you do this one first.
Yeah. So I have 3 that I really would. Well, 1 and then 2 kind of lump in together. But the first one was As I Lay Dying and Lamb of God, and that was back probably had to be like when Tyler and I were in high school. We went to Ram's Head and we saw them, and we almost died because we were like definitely like the youngest people there. But dude, it was such an amazing show. Like, it was just like feet away from like As I Lay Dying, and like just like you know, dude, like just being like that young and just like they're like them. Gods, dude. Yeah. Like, that's the rock gods, man. But, like, yeah, we almost died because we were, like, the youngest people there, like I said, and, like, we were, like, in the front. So, like, anytime there would be, like, a thrust of, like, the pit, it would be, like, we would be crushed by the people behind us into the people in front of us. And we're just, like, these little kids. No, we were, like, probably, like, 10th, 11th grade or something like that. But, like, compared to the giant men around us. And then the other 2 were, like, I really enjoyed them because I went to them by myself. And the first one was Courtney Barnett, and she's like an Australian like indie artist that I saw at the Electric Factory, actually. Oh. And that was like, dude, that was such a good time because I went by myself because I don't know. I think I was trying to find people to go with or whatever, but like it was just somebody that I had gotten into, and I really wanted to see because I don't know. It's like I was like, oh, she's like coming to Philly. I was like, all right, I better go, you know.
Yeah.
So I went and like I actually met somebody in line that was also there by themselves, and like we just went and like drank at the bar all night and enjoyed all the songs.
That's really cool.
And then I went to see Gorillaz too in Philly, and I went by myself. Yeah, that's where I got this hoodie. One of my favorite memories ever.
How convenient.
Yeah. It's a good one. That was like...
I'm so jealous that you saw Gorillaz, man.
Dude, like, that was like something that like I never thought was going to be possible ever in my life. And they came out with Humans. I went on the Humans World Tour, and I was like, dude, I'm never going to get this chance ever again. Because, like, dude... And it was such a huge production, like, huge videos on stage. Like, wow, man. I feel like... Even I feel like I'm lying when I tell people that I went to see them because it was just such a surreal experience. Because, like, I don't know, they're like, oh, wait, they're like a real band? It's like, dude, yes, it's amazing.
What, did they play, like, all of Humans, or did they play some old stuff, too?
They played Humans. They did, like, what they usually do when they don't have, like, the featured artists is they'll, like, have it playing as a track. Right. But then have the video up on, like, the giant screens, and you see them, like, as their, like, person or whatever.
Yeah.
So they did, like... Well, the most memorable ones, I think, was, like, they did Strobe Light off of Humans. And then, but they did, like, all the classics. Like, they did, like, Clint Eastwood is, like, the last song, obviously. Some Demon Days. They did a little bit of everything, but they did some of the, like, they did, what's the one that's, like, Andromeda? They did that one. Like, stuff cool. like the hits off of Humans, but... They had, like, the Humans choir with them, which kind of made it, like,
sick. Yeah.
That was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So what about you?
I think the one that comes to mind first is, I went to... They finally had Rock Allegiance at... they used to have Rock Allegiance at Hershey.
Every time you say that, I feel like you're saying Rocket League.
Rocket Legions?
Rocket Legions.
So, the, like, festival Rocket Legiance, they used to have it at Hershey, and then they... kind of moved it. They needed like more space, I guess. They moved it to New Jersey, and me and my buddy Devin went to that, and Gojira was playing, and dude, they just blew me away. Like how their light show was crazy, but they're so precise, they're so tight. Like it was just, it blew my mind, and like it kind of like made me. It like set a bar, like for live performances that like I don't know, as far as heavy bands go, I don't know if another band's gonna be able to hit. Like, you know what I mean? Because everything was just, like, the instrumentation's one thing, and then, like, just his vocals, he has a vocal style that when you listen to on record, you're like, can he really do this live without it sounding bad? Yeah. You know, like, can he really pull this off? Yeah. And he 110% can. And wow. While playing guitar. And it's just like, and, you know, obviously, it was super impressive, and all I could do was sit there and, like, in awe. Like, I couldn't even, like, bring myself to just go crazy, because I was just, like, so entranced by
like, open mouth the whole time.
And like, that's all I talked about for the rest of the show. Like, I mean, like, Rob Zombie headlined that, like, Mastodon played before them.
Was it, like, multiple stages, or, like...
Multiple stages, yeah. Gojira didn't play on the same stage, but, like, I saw He Is Legend there, too, like... nice. There was a lot of really cool bands there. ABR played too, like for what it was worth, and like it was really cool. I got a really good time, but just wow, I can't even. I just say wow thinking about it.
Dude, there's like I feel like the best word to describe them as a band is like powerful, because like they're just like, and I think they have like really good stage presence too. Like they just carry themselves really well.
That's like the crazy part too. Is like, you know, it's one of it's like kind of like us in the sense of like in terms of like member numbers and what they're doing. Like they have 4 people.
Yeah.
Like
I see what you're saying.
So like it's like they managed to have like this presence on like a huge stage without having the ability to kind of like be everywhere.
But like, it translates well.
Yeah,
like,
it's amazing.
Yeah.
So highly recommend. Go see Gojira if you can. Whenever things, you know, you're able to.
Whenever that's possible.
Yeah. Then the other one that comes to mind, as expected as it may be from me, August Burns Red for sure. You know, I've seen them several times, but like, I've seen them at, you know, at like bigger venues, like I just said, like at that festival. I've seen them at Chameleon, you know, rest in peace. But I also saw them at Champ, And like seeing them in like such a like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like small, tight, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, it was a very
Intimate.
intimate. Thank you.
Yes.
Exactly what I was looking for. A very intimate show, right? No barrier, no high stage. Like, it was just crazy to see them there, and the energy was just amazing. And like, it's like one of the few shows that like I'm not like a pit guy, but like it's one of like maybe the like 6 shows I've been to in my life where I've just like just went crazy. Like,
Yeah.
it was just like like the adrenaline and just
Yes.
everything in that room was just. But I enjoyed the hell out of myself. Like, it was just such a good show.
Yes.
So I think those are definitely like the 2 heavy shows that I enjoyed the most. I can't think of other ones off the top of my head right now. But I'm sure there's some. But
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
They're just like, dude, I don't know. Like I was saying, I went to those ones like by myself, and I think we were talking about it earlier. But like the whole idea of like the reason I wanted to go by myself is so I don't have to like worry about like other people or like just like I don't know, because I feel like for myself, I can only go nuts when like I'm not with anybody that I know.
yeah, when you don't know.
You know?
anyone. Yeah, and I'm like the opposite.
Yeah.
Where, like
just-
if I'm with you guys, like I don't give a fuck like how stupid I am.
Yeah.
But if I'm with people I don't know, like I kind of think about what I do more because like
Yeah.
I'm like a little more self conscious until I get to a point where like I'm like it's like weird, but kind of what you like. You get some drinks in me,
Then
like
you have a
if I'm
good
at a show
time.
and I get some drinks in me, like
Yeah.
lights go down, like what I mean, like no one can really see what I'm doing. Like I'm gonna, I'm gonna vibe out,
Vibe.
fucking have a good
Yes.
time. So
Speaking of vibes, let's close this out.
let's do it.
Rocking and rolling.
Rock and roll.